Finding purpose after a broken marriage. A journey from loss to meaning. When the marriage ends, life feels unclear. A broken marriage does not only end a relationship, it often ends a vision of life you once held close to your heart. For many people, marriage is more than companionship. It becomes identity. It becomes routine. It becomes purpose. So when it ends, whether through divorce, separation, betrayal, or emotional abandonment, it can feel as though the ground beneath your life has collapsed. You wake up unsure of who you are now, unsure of what comes next, unsure of why everything you worked for fell apart. This video is not about blaming your former partner. It is not about reopening wounds. This is about finding purpose after a broken marriage, not by denying the pain, but by walking through it and discovering meaning on the other side. Part 1. Why a broken marriage shakes your sense of purpose. Marriage shapes how many people understand their role in the world. You may have defined yourself as a husband or wife, a provider, a caregiver, a partner building a future. Your goals, sacrifices, and daily decisions may have revolved around that union. When the marriage breaks, the purpose that once guided you disappears suddenly. This creates what psychologists call identity disruption, a deep internal confusion where you ask, "Who am I now? What was all this for? Was my effort meaningless?" These questions are painful, but they are also important. They signal that your mind and spirit are searching for a new foundation. Loss of purpose after marriage does not mean you have failed at life. It means the chapter you lived by has closed, and every closed chapter demands a new one. Part 2. Grieving the dream, not just the person. One of the most misunderstood aspects of marital loss is what we are actually grieving. Often it is not only the person we miss, it is the dream, the shared plans, the future holidays, the growing old together, the version of yourself you thought you would become. Until you grieve that dream honestly, it becomes difficult to find new purpose. Many people rush to move on without allowing themselves to mourn what never came to be. But grief is not weakness. Grief is acknowledgement. It says, "This mattered to me." Purpose does not return when grief is suppressed. It returns when grief is processed. Allow yourself to say, "I lost something meaningful. I am allowed to hurt. I am allowed to take time. Only then can new meaning grow in the space left behind." Part 3. Separating your worth from the failure of the marriage. One of the most damaging beliefs after a broken marriage is this: if my marriage failed, I must be a failure. This belief quietly destroys purpose. Marriage is a relationship between two imperfect people, shaped by timing, circumstances, emotional maturity, communication, and growth, or lack of it. A marriage ending does not cancel your value. It does not erase your kindness. It does not negate your capacity to love or contribute. Purpose is built on who you are, not on whether a relationship survived. You are not your divorce papers. You are not your ex's opinion of you. You are not the worst moment of your past. Finding purpose begins when you separate your identity from the outcome of the marriage. Part 4. Accepting that purpose changes over seasons. One of the most freeing truths you can accept is this: purpose is not fixed for life. What gave your life meaning in one season may no longer serve you in another. Marriage may have been your purpose for a time. Parenthood may have been your focus. Sacrifice may have defined your days. But life evolves. A broken marriage does not mean you have lost purpose forever. It means your purpose is being redefined. Instead of asking, "What was my purpose supposed to be?" try asking, "What is life asking of me now?" Sometimes the purpose of a season is not productivity. It is healing. It is rest. It is rebuilding. And that is still purpose. Part 5. Rediscovering yourself outside the marriage. A broken marriage often reveals how much of yourself you put aside to keep the relationship alive. Dreams delayed, interests abandoned, parts of your personality silenced. Purpose returns when you reconnect with who you were before the marriage and who you are becoming beyond it. Ask yourself gently, what did I enjoy before I had to be everything for someone else? What parts of me were neglected? What kind of life feels honest now? You are not rebuilding from nothing. You are rediscovering parts of yourself that were waiting patiently. Purpose often begins with curiosity. Part 6. Purpose does not require a new relationship. One common mistake after a broken marriage is believing that purpose will return only when love returns. While companionship can be beautiful, purpose does not depend on romantic validation. You are allowed to build a meaningful life whether or not you remarry. Purpose can exist in personal growth, service, creativity, spiritual depth, parenting, community, inner peace. A relationship should add to your purpose, not replace it. Part 7. Faith, spirituality, and purpose after marriage. For many people, a broken marriage creates spiritual confusion. You may question God's will, prayer, your beliefs, your sense of calling. Spiritual purpose after a broken marriage often begins with honesty rather than certainty. It is okay to question. It is okay to wrestle. It is okay to feel disappointed. Many people discover a deeper, more authentic faith after loss, one that is less about perfection and more about presence. If spirituality matters to you, purpose may be found not in answers, but in surrender and trust, rebuilt slowly. Part 8. Redefining success and a meaningful life. Society often defines success as staying married, having a perfect family, following a linear life path. A broken marriage disrupts that narrative. But success is not the absence of failure. It is the ability to rise with wisdom. A meaningful life is not one without brokenness. It is one where brokenness does not have the final word. Purpose after a broken marriage often looks quieter. Emotional maturity, inner peace, boundaries, self-respect, authentic living, and that is success. Part 9. Letting go of shame and social pressure. One of the heaviest burdens after a broken marriage is shame. Shame whispers, people are judging you. You failed, your story is embarrassing. Shame suffocates purpose. You do not owe anyone a perfect narrative. You owe yourself honesty and compassion. Release the pressure to explain. Release the need to prove your worth. Your life does not end because a chapter closed. Part 10. A message to the person still in the pain. If you are listening to this while still hurting deeply, hear this. You are not behind in life. You are not broken beyond repair. You are not disqualified from joy. This season is shaping you, not destroying you. One day, you will look back and realize that the end of your marriage was not the end of your life, but the beginning of a more honest one. Conclusion. Your life still has meaning. A broken marriage changes you, but it does not erase you. Your life still holds purpose. Your story still matters. Your future is still unwritten. Purpose after a broken marriage may not look like what you once imagined, but it can be deeper, truer, and more aligned with who you really are. Healing leads to meaning. Meaning leads to purpose, and purpose leads to life again. If this message resonated with you, consider subscribing for more conversations on healing, identity, and life after divorce. And if someone you know is struggling after a broken marriage, share this with them. No one should have to find purpose alone.